Okay, end of easy questions.
Yeah.
This
Here we
group,
go.
they want me to ask you some hard questions.
Okay.
Since you've been president, there's been several mildly controversial things that have come up. How we're going to maximize the use of the Brackenridge Tract there in Austin, the recent closing or the proposed closing of the Cactus Cafe, and the discontinuance of informal classes. And it seems to me that all three of those issues really center around the relationship, or at least the perceived relationship, between the University of Texas and the city of Austin. Can you talk a minute kind of about what is our responsibility to the city, what the city's responsibility to us, and how that might play into those three issues?
Well, that's a very important question. We spent a lot of time thinking about, the mission of a great public university. I've, on many occasions, said our goal, whether it's tough times or good times, we ought to dedicate ourselves to being the best public university in the country. And people will very often say, well, why not the best university in the country? And in a sense, that's what we ought to be thinking about doing. Get the best faculty, the best students, the best programs, best research, best educational programs. But there is something special about being a public university. That we are certainly serving our students. We're certainly doing the research, but we are a public entity. We're publicly funded. That makes a difference. But there is something, I think, very important in American higher education about public universities. We're not ourselves a land grant. Texas A&M is a land grant. But the whole land grant notion, the whole, the GI Bill, the commitment to public universities in our country does give special benefits for us, but special obligations. And that's the community in Austin. We're not just the University of Austin. We're the University of Texas. So it's to the people of Texas, the communities of Texas, and we take that obligation to the public, whether somebody was an alumnus, went to the University of Texas or not. It is their university. The core mission of how we serve is we teach the leaders of the future, and we do cutting-edge research to solve the problems of today and the future. It could be in energy, it could be in business practices, it could be in law, it could be in the arts, literature. That is the core of the way we serve the public. We teach and we do research. Now we do many other things, many other service projects, and we love doing them. But especially in difficult times, we need to focus our resources on that core mission of teaching and research to make this a better Texas, frankly, to make it a better America, and to make it a better world. Now, these two particular issues are actually quite different. The Brackenridge Tract, many of you may not know the background of that. Colonel Brackenridge gave a big tract of land for the benefit of the University of Texas. Our regents take that very seriously. It was given to the university for the benefit of the University of Texas. When it wasn't very valuable, there was a golf course. There's some other things, a research lab that we're going to keep, graduate housing that we're going to protect, and the board's been very supportive on that. It is not in the mission to support golf in West Austin. We're happy to do it until we have to think, can those assets be used to support our students? Is it really something we want to go to the students and say, you ought to be paying higher tuition, so we don't capture that asset and use it for endowments, use it for scholarships, use it for research, use it for teaching, so we can be supporting golf in West Austin. This is going to be a difficult issue. We're working through it. We're working with the city. The Cactus Cafe, I don't know how many of you have heard about that. It's a big issue in Austin. It is very controversial. I spent 2.5 hours at an open forum, and if you think there's any doubt I get candid critical feedback, I got it on that one. That one actually is quite interesting. Our students want student bands in that venue. They want a lot of the kind of music that was going on in the Cactus Cafe, but they also want the kind of music that they're interested in, but also student music, student stand-up comedy, student improv. And it's an issue of, is this their space, or is it a space controlled by people interested in the kind of music that was going on in the Cactus Cafe in the 60s. I often tell people when in the 60s the students sort of took control of that space, they did not have Guy Lombardo as the music. And I think our students now are going through that same process. And there are negotiations. It will come out where there's a lot of the same kind of music that was there. But I think the students want to be in control of that. There's a lot of negotiation with the community and the students. My view is I'm going to back our students on this.
I think it's clear there's just a delicate balance, that you're always walking that tightrope. And at the end of the day, if we can look to the students for good input and a good solution, that ought to be it.
Yeah. Many of you have children who are students there. There are students who I've met tonight who are coming there in the fall. Our students are amazing in the classroom. They're amazing in the projects. They help us come up with ways of improving the university. They take on projects. It is unbelievable that when we trust them to do the right thing, they act responsibly and do the right thing. So my instinct here is to